Hello, and welcome to this webinar discussing Fortinet's Teleworker solutions. I'm Peter Newton, Senior Director of Product Marketing and Solutions, and I want to share with you some of the information about the products we have and potentially the capabilities that our customers already have on site with respect to enabling a remote teleworking force at scale. Now, certainly right now we are talking a lot about pandemics, but there are a variety of reasons why companies might need to have their workforce work remotely with little or no planning. Rather, I should say with little or no warning. And this could happen for a variety of reasons. And it really affects businesses of all sizes. Now, today I'll be showing some solutions from Fortinet that will be focusing on a more enterprise class or enterprise size customer. But even if you're a small business, the same principles apply. And I'm sure that you can see how it would be scaled to your situation. The Security Fabric is absolutely relevant when talking about teleworker solutions. Our teleworker solutions incorporates several elements of the fabric that really continues our theme for cybersecurity with broad visibility across the attack surface, as well as integrated solutions that talk to each other and enable automated responses. So the teleworker solution is no different, and let's talk about how that's true. So what are the elements, or what goes into a teleworker solution? Well, obviously there will be a headquarters or a head end, and that's where these systems are trying to connect to, these people are connecting into. Then when we take a look at the teleworkers themselves, they break down into three broad categories. One, there's the general roaming use case. And I say 100% of your employees will fall into this bucket because everyone in your company in this scenario will have situations where they do need general roaming support. Now, for the vast majority of your employees, this can be their standard setup for remote work. If they're at home with their laptop, they can use this setting and continue to work. For the power users and super users, those users might need specific situations when they're at their remote location, but when they're at a coffee shop, at a hotel, at an airport, they fall back into that general roaming profile. So that general roaming applies to everybody. Now, power users are people who might need more consistent access to headquarters or might have a wide variety of devices that need connectivity. So for that select group of users, there's some more advanced solutions that meet their needs. And then the final group of users are super users. These are the folks such as network admins with elevated rights and responsibilities, executives dealing with very sensitive and secure information, and for super users, we've put together a solution that gives you the highest level of security. So let's walk through what these solutions look like. Now, for the general user, it's really pretty straightforward. They need two things when they're going to be working remotely from the office. One, they need a secure connection to go across the internet so that they know that the traffic that they're sending across that internet does remain private. And for that, the technology is a virtual private network, or VPN. These do come in two flavors, SSL or IPsec. And it is possible to use the SSL capabilities built into browsers and other applications and such. But our recommendation is to use the IPsec tunnel built into the FortiClient agent that runs on either the laptop or the mobile or your mobile device, your cell phone. This creates a highly secure connection back to the FortiGate at the headquarters to make sure that traffic is private. Now, the second thing that a general user needs, in addition to that secure connection back to the remote location, is the ability to verify that they are who they are when they're connecting back. And to do this, the FortiToken provides that two-factor authentication, or 2FA, as it's abbreviated, and that enables the remote user, so when they put in their username and password and headquarters receives it, there's this second factor to make sure that headquarters can be confident that this person is who they are. It's not stolen passwords, these aren't hacked or socially compromised, they aren't username and password that have been obtained through phishing. That second factor really lets headquarters know that yes, this person is who they say they are, and we should let them connect. So that's pretty it. That's relatively straightforward. What the teleworker needs as they walk out the door for remote connectivity to do that is the IPsec VPN client and the FortiToken for two-factor authentication. Now notice I do show here that the some traffic is going back through the internet on that VPN client, while other traffic is going to a cloud that's protected by FortiCASB. And yes, this would be for those applications that the company runs that are cloud-based. The teleworker doesn't need to actually have anything, but that direct connection can be managed by the FortiCASB and the FortiClient, such that as the user needs to access Office 365, Dropbox, online storage, etc., they can get to those traffic. The traffic doesn't have to hairpin through the headquarters. They actually can do direct access to those cloud applications. So this is the most common use case and what most people will do, and you can see it is quite powerful, but yet also quite simple. Also to note, the FortiClient and FortiToken can be all software solutions. Our most popular FortiToken solution is our mobile token that just runs on a cell phone. It's a little bit of software you can download from the App Store, from the Android store, and runs on the software. So you don't have to worry about having to distribute hardware tokens or key fobs or mailing those off somewhere. Someone can you can do this all with software. So that's the general user. Let's talk a little bit about the power user. So for the power user, this is someone who might have more devices they need to connect on a regular basis. They might need to keep those connections up for longer periods of time. For this solution, you can actually deploy a FortiAP out at that location. And this creates a secure tunnel back to the FortiGate at headquarters. So it has encryption to then protect that traffic across the internet. And of course, at that location, you then have Wi-Fi access to the corporate network. There is split tunneling options here, so you don't have to send all the traffic back to headquarters. And just as the general user, you would still want the user to authenticate themselves with that second factor authentication so you know who is on your network. For the final user group, the power user, this person we're looking to provide the highest levels of security. And again, this is for like executives or potentially admins with elevated credentials. These are the people that you really want to make sure that they have full access to the corporate network and that they are fully protected where they are. And for this reason, we actually recommend putting in a FortiGate at their location. And this is really effectively turning this location into a small branch where they're going to have all the firewalling capabilities, all the traffic shaping capabilities, application control, all out at that location. Now, again, you still want to have two-factor authentication because you do want these folks validating who they are. And then one additional tweak here is they might actually have a phone at their location, a FortiPhone, and we do have hardware versions of that or even software versions. So that's what the super user would use. And again, as with a FortiGate, you'll still have that split tunneling capability for direct access to cloud-based applications. So we've talked a little bit about what's happening at the remote site. What is it required on the head end to support all that? Let's take a look at that. So you can see there are a lot of products that are pulled into the solution for teleworking. There's FortiGates, Authenticator, FortiClient, EMS, Manager, etc. The good news is these are all equipment that you would have on site just as a part of normal operation. You need all these solutions in order to, for example, the FortiGate to have safe and secure access to the internet when you're at headquarters. You need authenticator at headquarters to make sure that people are who they say they are in the office. You need your FortiClient management system. All these things are, the good news about this is you don't need to buy anything new. All the security that you have been using for on-site can then be used to develop the teleworker and deliver the teleworker solution. Now you might say, well, wait, when I'm in the office, I don't have to support all these VPN tunnels. Well, the good news is your FortiGate is actually very capable of supporting a lot of those VPN tunnels. With the hardware encryption built into FortiGates, we can support VPN tunnels at scale. As you can see from the chart below, even a small 100E model can support 10,000 IPsec VPN tunnels at the same time. So it's if you have sized your FortiGate for the number of users at that location, say for a 100E, if you have, if that was appropriate for your 100 users and the traffic they provide, there's far more tunnels that's supported in that 100E to cover those 100 users. And again, you can see we go up to even 200,000 VPN tunnels for the larger models. For those power users that are using FortiAPs, that's leveraging the FortiAP tunnel mode so that you can push security out to that access point and treat that like a WAN connection, put all the firewall policies on that access point for that remote user. You can see even there, for that 100E office, we can support 32 tunnels. So even if you have, say, 20 access points scattered about the office, you can still support another 12 power users. And of course, the numbers go up from there. So this is another advantage of Fortinet's hardware-based FortiGates and the fact that we do have this ability to support remote working at scale. Built into the box, no licenses required. So let's put all these together to see what it looks like. For the general user, you can see it's very simply their FortiClient is going to be talking to the FortiClient EMS system to get its configuration, make sure it has that split tunnel set up correctly. FortiAuthenticator is going to be getting that two-factor authentication through the FortiGate, and the teleworker just has those pieces of software for that general use case. Power user, that access point is connecting back to that FortiGate, getting its security policies as well as its management from that FortiGate, and then providing connectivity out to that remote site. And then same thing for the super user. In this case, utilizing the FortiGate at that remote site, connecting back to the FortiGate at the head office. And by the way, I should point out that for the power user and super user, where there's actually hardware on those locations, FortiGates and FortiAPs do have zero-touch provisioning options. So you actually can send hardware out unconfigured, have it call home through our FortiDeploy process, be registered to your account and shifted over to your FortiManager instance and get their configurations pushed to them all remotely. And the person on site simply needs to plug them in and connect the appropriate cables. So all the configuration can be done remotely via this system. For some additional information on our teleworker solutions, we do have a web page on our, currently it's on our homepage. You can see it there, Teleworker Solutions, and there you can find our teleworker solution brief, but you will be able to search on our website under teleworker to find this information. Also, we do offer a free VPN FortiClient. So if you want to get the FortiClient Fabric agent with that VPN agent there, we do offer that for free at www.forticlient.com. So in summary, Fortinet has existing capabilities to support large-scale remote working. So if your company is looking at having to suddenly support a lot of people working remotely, dialing in, if you have a FortiGate, you have the scale to support that. And you can continue using the existing tools that you've been using for managing your company on-site as you shift into a remote model. And all this delivers a solution that keeps your workforce safe and productive. Thank you very much.